Hello everyone and welcome to our CFA Open Evening for the exams in June 2016, CFA levels 1, 2 and 3. So we currently have a team led by me. I'm a CFA Charterholder. I have 10 years experience working at Ernst & Young, or EY as it's now known, starting in the United Kingdom and then in Brazil in the valuation team, and also at the Bank of England, which is the UK central bank. I am also a chartered accountant. I qualified through the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Scotland, and that involves 3 years of work experience and lots of exams. I also have taken the American Society of Appraisers ASA 1 and ASA 2 exams, and I have the ACCA certificate in International Financial Reporting. ACCA is the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants. I also have an undergraduate degree from Oxford University in Economics, and I work for Toastmasters International as a volunteer, and that's a public speaking communication skills organisation for those of you who know it. We have a team of tutors who all have professional experience similar to my professional experience in the financial markets, and they have all passed the exams that they train people for. And we have a training program for teachers, so they all do an introductory induction training program before they come teach with us. So just give an overview of the company. SHP Training is the leader in Brazil in preparation of professional qualifications recognised internationally in the financial market. We are the first finance school in Brazil to offer courses live online for the CFA exams, and all of our other courses as well have a live online option, which means that students can join the course as it happens live. So there is a classroom course with students, and then online students join this course and they can ask questions as the class goes on. We are also an ACCA registered learning partner, which means that we follow the approval procedures required by the ACCA, the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants, in order to provide their courses. The ACCA is a large organisation. It has around 200,000 members globally and 400,000 students. So it's actually bigger than the CFA Institute, which we'll look at the numbers later for the CFA Institute. SHP Training is BPP's partner in Brazil. BPP is the largest provider in Europe of professional education, and they focus on professional qualifications in accounting and finance. And our office location is on Rua André Fernandes in Itaim Bibi, Sao Paulo. Some photos of our training centre for you to get an idea. We have the training room, which is small as our cohorts in the classes are small. And we have a rest and relaxation area. You can see the sofas, and then a reception as you come into the building in the first photo. Our clients so far are from these companies, so if you work for any of these companies or banks and you would like a referral or an indication from someone, please let me know and I can refer you to a student from one of these organisations who can talk to you about our courses. We found in our student feedback that 100% of our students would recommend us to someone else, so that's a good thing. And we're happy for you to speak to our students. We offer training, as I said before, with online training. We have an online and live online option for our open courses and open to the general public. And we offer training in 4 areas: in finance, accountancy, business valuation, and financial English. Okay. What does it mean to have a professional qualification? All of our training courses are professional training courses, meaning that they are focused on the skills that will be applicable in the workplace, and also on being ethical. So we're talking about skills that you really need to progress, to do well at work. We have written some articles. I have written some articles which have appeared in La Prática, which you might be familiar with. So we have what is business valuation, how do we value a company. There are also articles about what it's like to work in private equity or in a hedge fund or in real estate. And we'll be issuing shortly an article on accountancy. So today we're going to focus on the CFA program and give an overview of the curriculum, the exam topics and weights, and recent pass rates. We'll also talk about the learning and methodology of SHP training, give you some study and exam preparation tips which will help you prepare for the exam and pass the exam itself, and then we have a question and answer session at the end. So CFA program overview. How is the CFA program different? Most graduate school programs cover a broad range of topics, and the CFA program specifically focuses on just investment knowledge. So it's a very focused program for the people wanting to work or already working in the financial markets. Rather, as opposed to an MBA or a full-time MBA, it is possible to work full-time while earning the charter. And this is what most people do. Employers value the CFA program, and you can see the effect of that in the last CFA Institute compensation survey, which was done in 2005. So a while ago, and you can make your own judgments based on this, but they found then that the median salary of a CFA charter holder was 54% higher than a non-CFA charter holder. And you can see the numbers here in the slide. Okay, so why become a CFA charter holder? You can get, through earning a CFA charter, international recognition, as the qualification is known very well globally, improve technical skills, and it will also give you lots of networking opportunities, both with other candidates as you study and also with members of your local society and societies internationally once you become a full charter holder. So overall you can get respect from your peers, from employers, from clients, which could lead to a better job, more clients and higher earnings. And here we have a couple of testimonials. And so Bruna and Giovanna took the CFA exams for different reasons. And Giovanna, her motivation was mostly to improve her understanding of the banking environment, as she said here, in order to demonstrate her knowledge at work. And Giovanna was wanting to take the qualification more to enhance her employability and gain credibility. So she wanted to put the CFA charter, that she was a CFA charter holder, on her CV. And partly that was due to the strong reputation that the CFA charter has globally. As you may know, there are 3 levels to the exams, the CFA exams. So we have levels 1, 2, and 3. Level 1 focuses on the foundations of finance and economics, and it gives you the tools that you need in order to perform investment analysis, which is what we do mostly at level 2. So at level 2, we dig in deeper to asset valuation. And we still cover all of the same topics that were covered at level 1, just in more depth. So level 2 is really the very technical paper, the most technical. And then level 3 has a strong focus on wealth planning and portfolio management. So this is where you bring together all of your knowledge from levels 1 and 2 in order to construct and understand portfolios. So the CFA program, as it says here, covers a broad range of topics, all relating to investment management, financial analysis, stocks, bonds, and derivatives. And we can see the shaded boxes show the weight of each area in each exam. So if we start firstly with ethics, we have ethics representing about 15% of each exam. That's the blue square, and it's the same weighting in each exam. And then for level 1, if we look at the green box, that's investment tools, which is the focus of level 1. So that would include quantitative methods, looking at statistics and hypothesis testing, for example. Economics, which includes micro and macroeconomics and international trade. And financial reporting and analysis in corporate finance. And the most important topic in level 1 is financial reporting and analysis. It represents 20% of the exam. And there's a large focus on analysing financial statements through, for example, ratio analysis. So after you've built that basis of the investment tools at level 1, at level 2 we move on to asset valuation, and the purple box here is the asset classes. So we've got equity, fixed income, derivatives, and alternative investments. In derivatives, we look at futures, forwards, swaps and options. And in alternatives, we look at commodities, private equity, hedge funds, and real estate. Okay, and then after studying all that, getting all that technical knowledge, we move on to level 3, where we still look at asset valuation, but we increase the emphasis given to portfolio management and wealth planning. And level 3 has, the first paper is a written essay, constructed response paper. So you've got 10 or 11 questions and you need to reply to them in an essay format. And many of those questions, it's almost guaranteed there will be a question on wealth planning for private individuals, and there will be some sort of institutional planning question as well relating to, it could be a pension fund or a bank or an insurance company, for example. Okay, looking at the exam topics and weights. So here we have the 10 topics which appear in the exams, starting with ethics at the top there. And you can see ethics has a weight of up to 15% in each exam, levels 1, 2 and 3. And then you can see that level 1, financial reporting and analysis, is the most important individual topic with a 20% weighting in the exam. Then at level 2, the most important individual topic is equity, with a weighting of 15 to 25%. Yeah. And then at level 3, the most important individual topic is portfolio management and wealth planning. Okay, so we can see how the weights change as we're going through the levels, apart from ethics, which is fixed. So ethics is a very key part of the exam, and it's something that people sometimes don't do so well at because the questions are sometimes quite tricky. But that's an area that we help with a lot in the prep course through question practice. Now, for those of you who haven't already done a CFA exam, the curriculum is you receive 6 books, e-books, from the CFA Institute. You have an option to purchase a hard copies as well for an additional $150. And those books are split into 18 study sessions for each level. Those study sessions are split into readings, so around 50 to 60 readings. And each reading contains a number of learning outcome statements. So these are very important for you when you're studying. The learning outcome statement describes exactly what you need to be able to do in order to answer questions on this particular thing in the exam. So for example, level 1, describe the capital budgeting process and distinguish among the various categories of capital projects. So they might ask you a question that relates to the capital budgeting process, maybe the steps in the capital budgeting process, and they might ask you to identify the different types of capital projects that we could have. So every question that is in the exam must relate to one learning outcome statement. Now, there are around 500 learning outcome statements, so there is a lot to learn, but if you tick off every single learning outcome statement, then you have a good chance, after you've achieved it, then you have a good chance of passing the exam. Each reading ends with a problem set. Well, there are actually some readings that don't have a problem set, but the majority of them have practice questions at the end. And I recommend to students that they do the practice questions in the official CFA e-books, in the material, e-books or printed books, but the official material that comes from the CFA Institute. So material is available from other prep providers like Schweizer or BPP or Fitch. But the most important questions to do are the ones that are provided for free in your exam, in your materials that come from the CFA Institute, because those are the ones that are written by the examiners. So do those first, and then if you have time, you can do questions from other sources. Looking now then at pass rates, most people are aware that these exams are very difficult, and the pass rates are low, particularly at level 1. So in June 2015, the global pass rate was 42% for level 1. But looking at the 10-year average, it was even lower at 39%. So this is because a lot of people will take level 1 without really knowing what they're getting into, and hence failing. Then at level 2, you're sitting the exam with people who have already been through level 1. They know how to study, they know about the format of the exams, and they know what to expect, more or less. But the pass rates are still fairly low, 46% in the June 2015 exam, and 43% over the last 10 years, because the level 2 paper is very technically demanding. It's a really tough paper with a lot of technical content that you need to know. And then level 3, the pass rate, 53% and 53% over the 10 years, is a bit higher, but some people struggle with level 3, often due to the written paper. And there are some tips that can really help with improving your performance in the written paper, which we talk about in the level 3 prep course. Just to give you a bit of an understanding then about the CFA curriculum, it is grounded in the practice, so what actually happens in the investment profession. So that means that the CFA Institute does a review or a survey of investment professionals, and they talk about suggested additions, deletions and alterations to the curriculum. So this makes the body of knowledge, or the curriculum, the content of the CFA materials and the exams very relevant to the working environment and the investment profession. And the curriculum is updated annually. So this is why it's important to study from current materials, because there are changes every year. So for example, in 2015, the derivatives content at level 1 became less to do with calculations and more conceptual. So that was a fairly big change this year. And I'm not going to go into detail, but there is a 4-phase process for this global practice analysis that the CFA goes through to make sure that the curriculum is updated in an appropriate manner every year. This graph, which is now a little bit dated, shows the popularity of the CFA program. And we can see actually that as the percentage of people passing the exam has fallen, enrollment has increased. That does not mean that those things are necessarily linked, but it is true to say that the CFA Charter is the most highly respected and widely recognised professional qualification in finance in the world. It is very well regarded due to the exams being rigorous, the whole process being tough, and you need to have 4 years of relevant work experience in order to get your charter. And you can get that experience actually before, during or after you take the exams, it doesn't matter, but you do need to have that experience as well as passing the exams. In June 2015, 125,000 people took the exams worldwide, and that was approximately 2,000 people in Brazil. So looking now then at the occupations of candidates, many of them are students. This particularly happens at level 1, although you need to be in the last year of your university degree. And we also have research analysts, accountants and auditors ranking highly here, corporate finance analysts, consultants, relationship managers. But it is important to say that candidates come from all areas in the finance profession, or from students who want to enter into the financial markets, into work in the financial markets. And here we have the top occupations of members. Remember, these people are all CFA charter holders. They already have passed each of the 3 exams, and they have completed their 4 years of relevant work experience. So the most common occupations are portfolio managers and research analysts. But we also have chief level executives, consultants, risk managers, corporate finance analysts, relationship managers, financial advisors. And here we go, we have a testimonial from Anna here, who is the head of credit and counterparty risk at Grupo Val in Mexico. And she says, if I could go back in time, even knowing the effort that it took to pass the exams, I would do it again without hesitation. So these exams are not easy. They do involve a time and a commitment and real dedication to studying, but they are something that will set you up for life. They won't guarantee you a job, but they will help you a lot. They will look good on your CV, and it's something that will stay with you for life. So in Brazil, the number of CFA charters has grown at the third highest growth rate worldwide when compared with other countries, and that's looking over the last 10 years. So there has been an average annual increase of 17% in the number of CFA charter holders. And now, currently in 2015, we have around 700. So the CFA charter is something that is well recognised in Brazil, and as I said, we already have around 2,000 candidates taking the exams per year and 700 charter holders. And just to have a look at who are the big employers of CFA charter holders globally, we have JP Morgan, PwC, HSBC, Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, UBS, EY, RBC, Royal Bank of Canada, Citigroup, Morgan Stanley, and so every year, more and more firms demand CFA charter or significant progress in the CFA charter. So even being a candidate in the program will help you. And then moving to the employers in Brazil, the top ones are Itaú, Credit Suisse, Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, BTG, HSBC, Bradesco, Banco Santander, Citigroup, JP Morgan, and Franklin Templeton. And this information is from Ambima. Okay, and then just to talk a little bit about the process for obtaining the CFA charter. So you need to have a bachelor's degree or the equivalent, or be in the final year of your bachelor's degree program. You then enroll with the CFA Institute, and then take the level 1 exam, which can be taken in June or December each year. Then the level 2 exam, which must be taken in June, it's only offered in June, and then the level 3 exam, which is also only offered in June. Okay, now you also need 4 years of work experience. That does not need to be after doing the exams, it can be before, during, or after the exams. And then you make some statements relating to professional conduct. You join the institute, CFA Institute, and you need to be a member in good standing, which means you have to not have committed anything not unethical. And then you get the CFA charter. Okay, so there's a road to follow. The sooner you get on it, the sooner you will complete it. And if you are successful in the exams each time, obviously you'll be able to get through it more quickly. So this, I guess, is where the value of a prep course can help you, because it can help you pass first time if you get the guidance that you need, and that will speed up the process of you getting the CFA charter. And just to say, I took prep courses with BPP in London in order to reach the level of the exams, and I passed each one first time, so I finished the whole program pretty quickly. Just as an aside, my personal experience there. Okay, and then a little bit then about the structure of the exams. As I said, level 1 is offered in June and December. It comprises 2 3-hour exams, and each exam has 120 multiple choice questions. So we have 240 multiple choice questions in total in the 2 exams. Level 2 can only be taken in June. Again, it's 2 3-hour exams, and in each paper there are 10 item set questions. So that means you have a case study or some information first, and then you have the questions underneath it. Okay, and each scenario or case study has 6 multiple choice questions related to it. And they are independent questions, so if you get one wrong, it should not mean you get another one wrong. And then level 3, again, only in June. 2 3-hour exams again, so it's the same for every level. This time, the morning exam is a constructive response exam where you get 10 or 11 questions and you need to write a short essay response to each one. And then item set questions in the afternoon, similar to level 2 in terms of structure. The CFA Institute sets a minimum passing score for each level. So we don't know exactly what percentage the pass mark is, but as a guideline when doing mock exams, you should be aiming for around 70%. So we've given an overview of the exams and how to get the charter, and now we'll look a little bit at SHP Training learning methodology. So how, based on adult learning theory, how can we maximize the chances of success in the exam? And what we found is that when we have a learning phase followed by practice, followed by consolidation, then we maximize the retention of the knowledge and our ability to answer questions in a quick way. So our recall, so retention and then recall of the knowledge. And the way our prep courses are structured is that we have a teaching phase of the prep course, then a revision phase where we review the key concepts and do lots of practice questions. And then we have a consolidation phase, which is through mock exams or simulados. And we have debrief sessions or esclarecimento de dúvidas after those mock exams, where we go through the questions that students have problems with. And learning from your mistakes is really important because the same things tend to get tested, and if you're not learning from the mistakes you made, then you're going to make the same mistakes again in the exam. So to dive in a little bit deeper then into the course structure, students who enroll with us can do our diagnostic test, which is actually available. It's a maths and English test of around 30 minutes, and it's available free online to everyone. But students who enroll with us get personal feedback on that diagnostic test. That's on our website, and if you are interested in getting a link to it, please send an email to info@SHP Training or go onto our website to find it. Training.com. Then we have the learning phase of the course, which includes the teaching classes, 63 hours. We have 21 classes there covering all content of the exams, all topic areas. It does not cover every single learning outcome statement. It covers the most important ones for the exam, and there are some areas that are left for home reading, mainly the factual areas that we cannot add much to in the prep course. But the teachers will orientate you on this so you know what you need to do at home. Then we have the practice phase of the course, which is what we call the revision phase, where we have 7 classes which are focused on reviewing the most important areas from the teaching phase of the course, and also doing lots and lots of practice questions in class with the teachers so they can help you with your question technique. And then we have consolidation through mock exams. So we have 2 mock exams. We have one halfway there mock, which is done partway through the teaching phase. And that's 3 hours, covering half of the material. And then we have a final mock of 6 hours. It's 2 3-hour exams. 2 times 3 hours on one day. Both of these are on Saturdays, and both of them are followed by a class. So there are 2 classes in total, one after the halfway mock and one after the final mock. And those debrief classes are in the week after the mock exam, so we can give you feedback on how you did relative to your peers, and how we can improve our exam technique in order to get the questions right, or go over complex areas that you're not sure about, or formulae that you haven't been able to remember, etc. So in total, the courses for levels 1 and 2 are 100 hours, The level 3 course is is fewer hours, as we are focusing just on the exam technique mostly for the morning paper. And then, as I said before, our exams classes are available in the classroom or live online. They are also all recorded, so if you miss a class, you can watch it the next day when we send out the recording, or at night afterwards when we send out the recording immediately. And if you watch it live online, you can interrupt the class to ask the teachers questions. This is the calendar for the level 1 prep course in June, and it starts on the 2nd of February. And we have the teaching phase, which is in this kind of turquoise colour, and then what we call success in the exam classes, which are part of the teaching phase, and they focus on study and exam technique, which we find students really need help with, because there is quite a lot of studying to be done at home as well as in the classroom. And then in yellow, we have the revision phase, which is the 7 classes that I talked about in the practice part of the learning methodology. And that starts at the end of April. And then the halfway there mock is on the 12th of March, and the final mock exam is on the 21st of May. And then this is on the 24th of May, that's the esclarecimento de dúvidas after the full mock exam, or the debrief class, and then on the 15th of March we have the debrief class after the halfway there mock. So it just shows you how the classes are spread out over the month. And you should aim, which I'll say later when I talk a little bit about study tips, to finish all of the initial reading by the end of March, so that May is just revision and consolidation. So this is why it's a good idea to start as early as possible, because there's a lot of material to get through and you will need to study at home. So I would recommend starting before the prep course, and our students receive a list of pre-course reading to be done before the prep course starts. So if you are able to do that before the prep course, then that will really help you. And then looking at the level 2 calendar, we start a bit earlier with level 2 because people find it technically so challenging, and there is a greater chance of passing the earlier you start. So we start on the 20th of January with a success in the exam class, and then we have the halfway there mock again on the 12th of March with a feedback class afterwards. The revision course starts on the 27th of April. And then we have a final mock exam on the 21st of May, followed by a debrief class on the 23rd of May. Okay. A note on study materials. So sometimes people have questions about these. Our courses are based on the CFA Program curriculum, which is updated each year. And this is the curriculum from the CFA Institute. So when you sign up for the exam, you will receive ebooks from the CFA Institute with everything you need to know for the exam in them. They are books, they have the learning outcome statements in them, and they have all of the technical material that you need to study in order to pass the exam. So our training courses are based on those. If you want to, you can buy hard copies of those books for $150 more. Some people like to do that because they like to have the books they can touch. And then there are also prep providers or preparation providers of additional optional study materials. So we have BPP and Schweizer just as examples. The BPP approach to helping students is to provide a wraparound or complement to the CFA program curriculum. So they have a book and various materials which help you navigate the curriculum. So they will say, in this chapter, focus on section 2.1, which is particularly critical for the exam, or skip section 4 because it's largely factual, unlikely to be tested. If it was tested, there would only be one question on it. And then the Schweizer approach is to summarise the CFA program curriculum, the official ebooks that you get when you sign up for the exam. And the idea there is that they make the content more, they summarise it so you don't need to read the official CFA curriculum. Now, that can work, but you have to be careful. There are some things in the CFA curriculum that really it's better to read from the original source, for example, ethics. And as I said before, the practice questions in the CFA curriculum should always be done, rather than the Schweizer questions or any other source, because the practice ones in the CFA curriculum are the ones that are written by the CFA Institute, which writes the exam. Curriculum. This is okay. We also recommend that students buy a book of practice exams. So the CFA books and the CFA Institute provide all of the ebooks with the practice questions at the back of each reading. Also, they provide topic-based practice questions on each topic area, and those are all freely available to candidates, and they provide one sample exam. So you must do that sample exam that you get from the CFA Institute, but also we recommend that you buy a book of additional practice exams, because one practice exam doesn't tend to be enough, and we would recommend that you do 4 or 5 practice exams before the real thing, just so that you are used to operating, responding to questions under timed conditions, and that you consolidate that knowledge that you've got and you build on your ability to recall it quickly. And those practice exams can be bought from VPP, from Schweizer, or from other providers. Okay, so now we're moving to study and exam preparation tips. And these are really important for candidates because these exams are so hard to pass. So the first thing, and the most important thing, is making a study plan. So the CFA Institute has found that the average successful candidate spends 300 hours studying for each exam, and that's quite a time commitment. So our classroom course is 100 hours, or our live online course is 100 hours, and that means that students need to fit in another 200 hours of studying outside the classroom. So what we recommend for students taking the exam in June is that they complete their initial reading by the end of April. So that would comprise going on the teaching phase of the course and then studying for an additional 100 hours at home. And depending when you start, you'll have to spend more or less time per week on a weekly basis studying. If you start earlier, you obviously need to spend less time per week. And then during the revision and mock exam phase of the course, students need to study for another 100 hours at home. And we increased our recommended amount of time in this last month because this is really the critical time. You need to go through that practice and consolidation close to the exam so that you retain the information you need in order to pass the exam. And what we recommend is that students take at least the week off before the exam and then fit in 40 hours of exam focused study here without any distractions. So just preparing for the exam, eating properly, getting exercise, but focused on the exam. And that week can make the difference between passing and failing. And to help you with all of this, we have a link to download a free study plan on our website. If you have any trouble finding that, please just send an email to info@shptraining.com. And then our pre-course reading is available to students as soon as they sign up, so you can get started with that right now. And that will give you an idea, tell you what to focus on. It will give you an outline of all the things you need to do, all the materials that are available, how to get those materials, how to do your study planning, how to make sure you can use your calculator, and what to start with regarding the reading material before the course starts. So are you ready? Again, going back, this time commitment, the 300 hours per level, means that sacrifices will need to be made. If you start late or you don't study enough, you will fail the exam. It's not, even if you could be the most intelligent person in the world, but you won't pass the exam unless you study for it, because this exam really is difficult. It's created in a way that makes it hard to pass. So in order to make those sacrifices, you need to be really focused, you need to be really what you want to do. You need to be the type of person who wants to be a high flyer in finance, who really wants to distinguish yourself, make yourself stand out, and in return for that, you put in the time that you need in order to pass the exams. So you need the support from your friends and family as well. And then you need to think about your study plan and how you can cover the reading material and fit in 200 hours of studying before the end of April, and then another 100 hours in May. And then I mentioned already we have a free diagnostic test on our website. So you can check there if your English and math skills are good enough for you to think about taking the exams. Your English needs to be good because the exam is in English and the reading material is in English. And then your maths, you need to be pretty good at maths in order to do the calculations. There's nothing too complicated, but in our prep course we include some classes on being more effective in your use of your calculator, which really helps people respond to mathematical or perform mathematical calculations more quickly. The exams, however, are becoming less and less mathematical and more conceptual in nature, so that may be good for people who are not so interested in maths. So you can enroll in the CFA exams directly with the CFA Institute, not with us, and they ask you to complete some questions and make a one-time enrollment fee if you are a new student of $450, and then you need to pay an exam fee for each exam. And if you sign up for the exam before the 23rd of September 2015, you pay $650. Then it will increase after that until the 17th of February, and then increase again up until the exam the registration closing date for the 16th of March. Okay, and that exam fee includes the e-books, or the complete curriculum you need to study, the topic-based practice tests that I mentioned, which are available to all students, and one sample exam, so it's 2 times 3-hour exams, so 2 exams of 3 hours each. So that's all included when you pay that exam fee. So why might you think about signing up sooner rather than later? You pay lower exam fees, so the CFA Institute has given an incentive for people to sign up earlier. We also, SHP Training, offers an early bird discount on our prep course. More time to study gives you more chance of passing the exam, and you receive the study materials from the CFA Institute as soon as you sign up, so you can get started as soon as you do that. You also can get feedback on our diagnostic test when you sign up as a student, and you receive a list of pre-course reading when you sign up as well. So our aim is for you to pass, hence this lecture about study and exam technique and about the content of the exams. And just why might you think about taking a prep course? Really, it will help you with a number of things. So the discipline that you get from following the class schedule is something that can be really important to people. And also the help that you get through, you can ask teachers if you have a question. The slides contain the key concepts in a very easily understood way with lots of practice questions. We follow this methodology of learn, practice and consolidate, which has been proven to help people pass the exams. SHP Training we also allow, or say that people can choose any prep provider they want for the materials, for additional materials. Small classes help with learning. And then we have live online classes, so students can follow in real time over the internet, and then the recordings are available later. So just some considerations when you are making this decision. So our dates and fees here, they are also available on our website. And then there is, as I said, an early bird discount. So the code is just early bird, a 5% discount on bookings for our prep courses that are made before the 23rd of September, which is the first exam enrolment deadline from the CFA Institute for the discounted exam fees. Okay. So thank you very much for your time, and good luck with the exams if you choose to sit them.